Namaste all. I'm Ratna Shrestha, PhD scholar from Gender Studies, studying at Tribhuvan University, oldest university of Nepal. Today I'm excited to share my presentation of my upcoming synthesis paper. My presentation is focused on hegemonic masculinity and its consequences in gender relation among heterosexual couples. Those couples who are living together after reporting violence faced from their husband to formal institutions such as National Women Commission. And my study will contribute in designing GBV prevention activities to strengthen gender relation among heterosexual couples for both development and government organization and dismantle harmful norms that promotes ideology of hegemonic masculinity that sustain gender equitable norms. Now I would like to give the outline of my paper, which will cover background, objective, research questions, source and method, review of concept and definition, review of theoretical debate, and implication on gender relationship, and conclusion. Now, before starting, I would like to give a bit background on JVV context. In Nepal, you can see from the slide that 27% of women in Nepal face forms of intimate partner violence from their husband or current partner, according to National Demographic Health Survey 2022. And the trend in last 12 months, spousal violence has increased from 14% in 2016 to 17% in 2022 in Nepal. And according to National Women Commission report from fiscal year 2017-18, 21-22, Nepali fiscal 79-80, in total 1464 cases were reported, and among them 150 cases were mediated, and most of the cases go for filing divorce and get separated. So this data shows that the most perpetrated are men, especially husband or partner, because of hegemonic masculinity belief, which emphasizes on gaining power and meet socially expected masculine norms by controlling over their wives. That the norms and beliefs that are embodied is taken as the most honor way of being a man, which reinforces other men as to position themselves in relation to it, and globally it is legitimate to play dominant role by men to subordinate women. Therefore, if such established hegemonic masculine norms are challenged, then how will they react in current context where the efforts are poor for gender equality? Therefore, based on this context, my objective of paper is to understand theoretical concept on hegemonic masculinity, and to assess how Nepalese society and culture contributes in construction and reinforce of hegemonic masculinity, and finally to explore implication of hegemonic masculine norms in gender relation among couples who have gone through under mediation and living together. As you know that in current context, there's been a legal provisions against violence has been formulated, and it has been given clear message that violence against women is a human right violation and considered as crime. So therefore this study is crucial to explore how men with hegemonic masculine ideal are reacting and behaving when their private matter is disclosed in public by their own women. And based on that, my research question will dig out the theoretical debate surrounding hegemonic masculinity, and how society and cultural practices contributing to the development of hegemonic masculinity norms and ideals in Nepalese society, and what are the consequences of hegemonic masculinity norms in gender relation among couples living together after mediation. And to understand and analyze the debate and concept, I have reviewed theoretical and systematic review articles published in international reviewed journals like JOSTOR. And based on debate and discussion, I will work to examine how masculine norms are constructed and its in Nepalese society, and its implication in gender relation among heterosexual couples in Nepal. Now I would like to start with the concept and definition of the hegemonic masculinity. First, I would like to start with the hegemony, which is the notion initiated by Antonio Gramsci, a Marxist thinker from the 20th century, which articulates a position of dominance obtained through consensus and benefited those who promoted masculinity. And later, this concept was defined by R.W. Connell, that the hegemonic masculinity is a concept in which society defines the characteristics to be a man and accept legitimacy of patriarchy by granting power to man and making women less powerful, which gives man dominant position and women subordinated position. So as of now, this concept has been applied in various field, from education to prevent violence against women, girls, and their health condition, and it has also influenced academic diaspora after the rise of feminist liberation movement, which produced huge disturbance in gender system and people perception of a gender challenging man's position, which they took as a granted to play a dominant role. And um, and uh, there has been a conference organized at Hegemonic Masculinity and International Politics in 2005 at University of Manchester, England, to examine the re-examine the contested concept that is struggling in power and political leadership, violence at public and private sphere, and changes in relationship and family and sexuality. And this now I'm going to provide debate that revolves around the various dimensions, whether it is in hegemonic masculinity, whether it is essentialist or socially constructed, whether it is static or fluid, or whether it is involves agency or resistance in masculinity. Firstly, I would like to draw attention on the essentialist and social constructionist debate, which essentialist perspective claims that masculinity is biological and inherent its quality across culture and time, and define that there is universal characteristics which describes what is to be a man. But social constructionist perspective argues that masculinity is not inherited, rather shaped by social norms and cultural practices. It emphasizes that the gender roles, behavior, and gender identity constructed by society varies from one culture to another. Secondly, I'm going to discuss on the argument as it is statics or fluid, where according to some academicians, argument that masculine norms remain unchanged over time, and expectation of hegemonic masculine norms are still very much in practice to become a man and are resistant to change. However, some argue that masculinity is not a fixed trait but can evolve, adapt, and change, which can be influenced by various factors like migration, cultural shift, individual experience, and conflict as well. Finally, I would like to focus on debate on agency and resistance in masculinity to sustain and challenge. The agency of masculinity emphasizes on how men are constructing their own space to take forward granted form of masculinity through their individual agency to perform and express their masculinity. But some argue that some men are resistant to traditional forms of masculinity in which they challenge and redefine what is it to be a man. This discussion shows that there is complexity and diversity in perspective of masculinity, and there is no uniformity in masculinity. The dominant and idealized forms of masculinity can differ between society and situation depending on the social and cultural context. Discussion on the concept of hegemonic masculinity shows that there exist multiple masculinity and varies from context, depend on agency and resistance of masculine norms. R.W. Connell proposed that the reformulation of hegemonic masculine concept in key four areas, that is nature of gender hierarchy, geography of masculine configuration, social and embodiment of dynamic of masculinity, which can be adapted in every context as well. In Nepal, women experiencing violence varies from according to age, caste, religion, education, geographic region, and social context. According to NDHS 2022, women experience physical, sexual, and emotional violence by their husband, and IP is higher among Muslim, 55%, Madhisi 43%, Dalit 36% compared to Janjati 21%, and Brahmin 8%. And according to geography, demarcation has 7 provinces, and among them, women in Madhya province, 46% are more than twice likely to experience all forms of violence from their husband, compared to Sudar Pasim 20%, Bagmati 9%, and Gandaki province 19%. Likewise, women experiencing all forms of violence with no education, 39% remain highest, and with more than secondary level, 5% remain lowest. Moreover, 35% of women in Nepal have experienced controlling behavior from their husband. So this that in Nepal's context, the construction of hegemonic masculinity serves to position man as a powerful by controlling over marginalized group. And examining the key four areas suggested by R.W. Kaur, we can see the construction of hegemonic masculinity in Nepal's context influenced by nature of gender hierarchy, whereas caste, religion, and marginalization plays a significant role, and the model of masculinity shaped at local and regional level influenced by gender system contributes in construction of hegemonic masculine norms, particularly at family level as a breadwinner of the family. And the socialization of masculine norms since childhood is the name in the name of cultural practice enforced to sustain ideals of masculinity by giving access in public sphere. Furthermore, the dynamic nature of masculinity, which is open to challenge and accept, plays a role in establishing forms of masculinity and allows gender equality with women. Therefore, these construction of masculinity in Nepalese context have implication in the gender relation among couples. Poor gender relations are evident in the construction of masculinity within the context of gender hierarchy, masculine configuration, and social embodiments. Nevertheless, strength in gender relation can be anticipated through the promotion of dynamic masculinity, which is characterized by its openness and willingness to change for sustaining equality with women. Therefore, the study concludes that there is a debate on concept of hegemonic masculinity, and reformulation of concept has been proposed in key four areas like gender hierarchy, masculine configuration, social embodiments, and dynamic of masculinity. Both agency and resistant nature can influence hegemonic masculinity by either by deteriorating or improving gender relation respectively. Poor gender relation is enhanced by gender hierarchy, masculine configuration, and social embodiment and dynamic, whereas dynamic masculinity can promote and strengthen gender relationships. So we need to focus more on dynamic nature to prevent violence against women and girls. Thank you.